Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the best Glock upgrades. I am finally getting to making this video. It's a long time coming. I get asked this question a lot, is what kind of upgrades you should do to your Glock, and that and AR accessories are the most asked questions I get. So I'm going to be doing a video on this one. The next one will be AR accessories, but for right now, we'll do the Glock and we'll go over all the accessories you should get. There's really not going to be in particular order. I've got a bunch of Glocks here. I'll kind of show off each one here later on. Like I said, they're literally all different, all shapes, all different colors. I mean, this one doesn't even look like a Glock anymore. Bunch of different crazy guns. So this right here is my personal carry gun. This is what I carry with me almost every day. This and the Springfield Hellcat and my Glock 26 long. So I carry a couple different Glocks, but this is the one that I built for myself basically as my primary. None of these upgrades are in a particular order because I think they're all really important and not super expensive. But the one that I think should be your very first upgrade if you've got a stock Glock in your hands is the sights. I don't know if I do have one gun here with stock sights, just because I have a red dot on it. It's currently not on it, but I didn't upgrade the sights just because this isn't a primary gun. It's just a range gun, and it usually has a red dot. So Glock sights are not very good, as most of you know, so I think upgrading those is kind of a must when you first get a gun. You can get them anywhere from $50 to $100. These are the Trijicon HD XRs. These are about $120. These are the most expensive I think I've found, but the best that I've used. I have a review on those if you guys are interested in looking at those. You can also get a Mariglow. Those are around, I think, $50 for those. Never personally use those, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. So there are really good options out there in your price range that you can get different sights. I just think it's a big upgrade just because you're getting a better front sight post. It's a lot more visible. Sometimes can be tritium or whatnot. And then I like the blacked out back just because it gives you a much quicker sight picture, not having to align everything up. This is just my favorite setup right now. So iron sights is definitely a go-to for the first thing you should upgrade. Now your next upgrade is going to be some sort of grip texturing. The one thing that I think is really important is having a really good grip on your gun. Sight alignment, grip, and trigger press are very important when it comes down to shooting accurately and shooting consistently. So having something to upgrade that grip texture is a really good idea. Now there's nothing wrong with stippling. I know it's just expensive. So if you're looking for something on the cheaper end, this is what I went. This is like a handle it grip. It's just basically like a tape that's on there that makes it just a little bit more textured. You can get a really gritty one that's more like sandpaper. That's kind of more for range guns. I don't like that for concealed carry because it rubs against your skin, makes it very uncomfortable. But with this one, it's just like a slightly rubber feeling. So it makes it really grippy, really easy to conceal and carry. Not conceal, it doesn't make anything, has nothing to do with concealability. It just makes it really comfortable is what I was trying to say, and easy to carry. So really good upgrade. You could probably get these for, I think, for like $15, maybe max $20 with shipping, but under $20, you're getting a nice grip texture. This has been on this gun for 3 years now, and I've had no issues with it coming off or losing a stick. Been a really good upgrade. I'm happy with it. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with stippling. Stippling is really nice. I've got the double undercut here on this one. This is my range gun, and it has a far superior grip texture. I also have stippling on this one as well, but the stippling is a great idea if you want to spend a little bit more money. But if you want to save the money, these handle it grips are a fantastic idea as well. This is the one I have on my Glock 19 long. That's a 17 slide 19 frame, and that's a P80. Those are really, really nice. So definitely something you should look into upgrading, stippling or some kind of grip texture. Next is going to be your white light. I think that's a very important thing to do. I have the Surefire UBs. I have them on all my primary guns. These are the guns that I use the most. I think these are probably the best weapon light that I've used for handgun, and I will continue to use these. These go pretty much everywhere. This is the one that's been used the most, probably has 5,000 rounds through it so far, and it runs really well. I've replaced my batteries once on it. I've done a decent amount of night shooting and training, so it's been a really good light, and these things are tanks. So the only downfall with them, makes it a little uncomfortable to conceal because you've got that extra length, you know, when you're adding a light. Some of the lights are really flush. This Valkyrie, not really something I recommend. It was just cheap, and I picked it up from somebody. And it worked for what I needed it for, but not really recommend for concealed carry. I definitely recommend these Surefires. So a definite upgrade that I would go with is a light like this and something durable. Don't cheap out on a light because when you need it the most, make sure it works. Now let's take a look at the upgrades inside the gun. So we'll break it down here. I have a Faxon threaded barrel on here, and I do not think barrels are that important of an upgrade. I don't think you absolutely need to do them. I have it on here because I was doing some stuff with compensators and whatnot, so I had the threaded barrel on here, and adds a little bit more length. I mean, not that important, but it does add a little more length to your gun. I don't think it's something that you should upgrade right away. If it's something that you're using suppressors or compensators or things like that, sure, you need a threaded barrel. but I don't think it's a necessity for an upgrade for a concealed carry gun, because that's about $100, $150, $200, depending what kind of barrel you're getting, that you could put towards ammo and training, which is far more superior and important than a threaded barrel just to make it look cool, or a gold barrel, or this one, I've got a gold barrel. I mean, that's a Zev Tech barrel. Beautiful barrel, looks really, really cool. I love the look of it, but if I was just running one gun and I wanted to upgrade the necessities, that would not be an upgrade. So definitely save your money and put it towards the important things like good holsters, good training, ammo, and things like that before you go buy the fancy stuff. So I don't think that's an absolute necessity of an upgrade. Now, I do have a different guide right on here. I'm just currently testing this one. So I did have the stock one in here for a long time, and I do recommend the stock guide rod. There's nothing wrong with them. They work just fine. They're pretty cheap and simple to replace. Now, for the internals, like the firing pin, the safety, the extractor, none of that has been changed. It's all stock. I don't want to mess with that stuff because obviously Glock knows what they're doing. They make a good gun, and it's already been tested and proven. So why am I going to be replacing all these internals that already work just fine? So I didn't touch the slide. The only thing I changed with my frame is going to be the connector. I put a Lone Wolf connector in here, and that is just a light in the pool just a little bit. You guys can go with Ghost connectors that make good ones. There's a lot of different companies in here. I'll show you guys a close-up of the connectors and what those do. So they just make a little bit lighter and make your trigger pull better. That's about the only thing that I would recommend changing, other than the spring in here you could change as well to change the weight. You can do that. You can mess around with that. Some guys do, some guys don't. I personally, Glock makes a gun that law enforcement trusts, use daily, and they work just fine. So in my mind, why am I going to go inside, break this thing apart, and start changing things inside that they've already proven that is a good thing? So I don't think it's that important to go through and start changing things. I think the connector was an important one just because it's made my trigger pull a little bit lighter, a little more consistent. I do not change triggers. As you can see in almost all these Glocks, these are all stock triggers. I do not change triggers on my Glocks. I love the stock trigger. Okay, maybe I should change that. I don't love the stock trigger. It's not like the best trigger I've ever used. I have grown to be comfortable with the stock trigger. I've used this enough and shot enough rounds through it that the stock trigger works just fine to be able to throw something in there. Again, that's $150, $100 that you're putting into this that you could put towards a lot of ammo and a lot of training. That is the most important thing, especially when still carrying a gun. You can carry a completely stock gun, change absolutely nothing, and spend all that money, the $300 that you're gonna spend on upgrades, on ammo and going out to the range and actually shooting it, and you're gonna be better than the dude with the gun that looks like this. Because yes, this is a sweet gun. It looks really cool. It has the Jaegerworks slide cut, which I highly recommend. Jaegerworks is probably the best company if you're going to get your slide cut. Focus on the fundamentals. Focus on the things that actually matter on how to shoot your gun before you start upgrading the thing like crazy. Those are the very simple things that I've upgraded. Another one being this magwell. I don't think it's a necessity, but I do think it helps. It's very low profile. It does not prevent me from being able to conceal at all, but the benefit is it gives my pinky a little bit of a shelf to get a higher grip, which I think in my head helps. It could be placebo, but in my mind it helps. And it just helps with reloads a little bit. There's just a little bit of a bezel in there to help with reloads, just in case you have to actually reload your gun in a situation and keep going. So with all those things being said, that does not mean you can't go out and upgrade a gun and get it all cut and fancy and really cool and looking crazy like this one or this one. You know, you can still go get your slides cut. You can get the barrels that you want. You can get the red dots, all the crazy stippling and triggers. There's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing that says those are bad things. It's just saying that if you've trained and you're comfortable with your gun and you've put enough rounds through it, then you can upgrade those things. If you have some extra money, yeah, do what you want. It's your money. I mean, who am I to tell you what you can do with your money? I'm just trying to tell you that don't get carried away and caught up on what you see on Instagram, because the guys that have sponsorship with these companies and get these crazy $2,500 guns, or just the guys that spend $2,500 on these guns, don't get carried away and think that guy has it, I have to have that, I want it so bad. Because this gun shoots absolutely no different than this gun. It looks way cooler to most people. I mean, some people might like this one better. It looks way cooler in my mind because it's got the cool F9 or F7 cut from Jaegerworks. Really cool look. But it does not function any different than this slide, other than the fact that I can do cool Instagram press checks, which obviously makes my credibility a little bit higher. So don't think that just because somebody else has all these things that you have to get them. Now, a couple other little things to point out. Red dots. A lot of people ask me why I don't have a red dot on my concealed carry gun. It's not that I'm against red dots. I really like them. I'm getting a 508T here for this one. It should be here this week. But it's just the fact that it's a lot of money to get a red dot, and then you have to send off your slide, which I'd send it off to Jaegerworks to get cut. And that takes time, takes money, gets my gun away from me for a little bit. And currently, I'm really happy with the iron sights. There's nothing that can go wrong with this gun right now, aiming-wise, other than if I nail them with a hammer maybe and break the sights because they're metal. There's nothing to fail on the sighting picture on this, and I don't think red dots are gonna fail because I think those are the future of handguns. I think they're gonna slowly become the normal, but I just haven't upgraded it yet. It's not that I'm against it. It's not that it's something that you shouldn't do. If you like red dots, run them. They, in my mind, are more accurate and a superior sighting system. I just haven't upgraded my concealed carry gun to that yet. The only one that I concealed carry that has a cut, which doesn't have the optic on it right now, is this one. Another thing is gonna be this extended slide lock from Kegworks. I might be saying that wrong. This, I have an issue with holding a really high grip, and with that I always keep the slide from locking back on last round. This is just a way to prevent that. I'm currently in the testing phase with this. I'm not completely sold on it yet. It does mar up your slide quite a bit, which is kind of frustrating for those of you that like really clean slides. It's not too big of a deal for this because it's not a baby gun. I use this a lot and it puts a lot of rounds through it, so it's gonna get marred up. But there are some things with it. That is to have a benefit for the fact that you can get a really tight grip on the gun and not have to worry about slide lock having an issue. And like I said, still in the testing phase. I'll keep you guys updated on that one. So those are my simple upgrades. Like I said, some of you might be a little discouraged the fact that they aren't as extravagant as you might have wanted. I think the simpler the better. Put your money towards smarter things like ammo and training. I'm sure you guys hear it a lot, but it is important. It really is. Fundamentals, making sure you can handle this gun to its limitations and make sure that you're able to neutralize a threat that might potentially come, be able to do that more confidently than having a gun that looks crazy and cool and you can show your buddies. So if you have the money and you want to, who am I to say that you can't do it? If you guys have any questions about Glock upgrades, let me know. I'd be happy to help. This was just a very quick video. I'm sure I'm still gonna be getting a ton of questions about it because there's always gonna be new shooters. There's always gonna be people asking questions, and I've always been happy to help. I always answer my DMs, always answer my messages. I try. Sometimes there gets to be a lot and it's kind of hard to answer them all, but I try to answer everything that I can because I think it's important for the new shooters coming up, especially nowadays with everything going on. There's a lot of new shooters. People just don't know. They just see these videos and they're like, okay, that must be the way it needs. You know, I don't know how to do it. They have all these questions. They need somebody to help them out. So I'm happy to do that. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here to help you. If you're a new shooter, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message, comment below, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you. If you guys want to help me out in the channel and everything that I'm doing here, there's a couple ways down in the description. There's Patreon, and then there is a link to my website. From there, you can use other links like Brownells, Cloud Defensive, and any other place like that. Anything you purchase using my links gives me a small kickback and shows those companies I'm generating traffic, which is always a good thing. So it helps me out a lot and helps me be able to afford things like camera equipment, ammo, all that stuff that it takes me to test all this stuff for you guys. So if you do that, I appreciate it. If not, not a big deal. I just appreciate you guys being here. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you guys so much. Another company that does a lot for me and supports me is Howitzer. Really appreciate them. I absolutely support this company because they donate 5% of their proceeds to charity. I talk about them in all my videos, and I wear their clothing constantly. If you guys see my Instagram and all my posts, I'm always wearing their stuff. So if you guys want to help support them, go ahead down in the description and purchase something from them. They have some great shirts. They have tons and tons of designs, and last year they donated $200,000 to charity, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see what they do this year, and if you guys want to do that, definitely check them out. Got a couple things coming in here in the future. I got an MP5 going to be testing soon. I'm going to be doing kind of like the best sub gun out there on the market. I'm going to be testing all the ones. I just finished with the CZ Scorpion. Going to be going to the MP5 platform, trying to look into a Strybog and a couple other guns that a lot of people have been asking me about, the Vector. So just kind of working out some details right now, trying to get things lined up in the schedule. Things are really busy and crazy. So trying to get everything worked in right now. So be patient with me. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you all that are sticking around and that are subscribed to me. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. I'm working on 10,000 subscribers and I'm really excited about it. Thank you guys.